it just happens like that sometimes. We had an advantage back in the day, and it's happening in the NBA right now because of the way the game is being played.
Right.
It's more of an offensive game. No, we average 125, 130 points a night. Today's game, the PBA, what do we average? 100
Yeah.
at the most. So there was a lot of room for you to score a lot of points. And the ball normally went to the imports. In my case, I used to like to run up and down the floor a lot, so I was up and down asking for the ball every time down the court probably. And that's one of the reasons why I scored a lot around the basket. But we're seeing it in the NBA right now, which is the most difficult place to
Right,
score
right.
50 points. But when you think back, maybe it's not. Wilt Chamberlain averaged over 50 points a game back in the 1960s. So it has been done throughout the entire NBA history, and it's happening this year, and it's really exciting.
I mean, Coach Norman averaged, 40, 50 points before in the PBA, Coach. But let's talk about why and the reason these players are scoring. I mean, Luka just had 60, Donovan Mitchell just had 71. And you gave us your reasons here.
Yeah.
3 reasons. And the number one reason that you mentioned is offensively multi-talented the players are in the NBA right now.
Oh, you look at Luka. I mean, he can do just about everything. He can bring the ball up the court, play the
Right.
point guard position. He can get you mid-range. He can hit threes. He can score layups on you consistently. He can dunk on you, as we've seen a couple of times this year. So even the other guys, like Donovan Mitchell, very athletic, can attack the basket, can shoot the threes, got a great mid-range game. Most of these guys scoring a lot of points can score at 3 different levels. You know, they score from the 3, they score mid-range, they score around the basket. And they get to the line a lot, to the foul line. So they're just multi-talented.
And just a quick question before we move on to the next reason. Do you think like the skill now also evolved? Like, the moves, the number of, step backs that we've been seeing. What can you say about that evolution on that part of the game in the NBA?
I would say definitely the skills have evolved over the years, and players have gotten better as far as their ball handling and some of the moves they make. But I won't say that these players today are more skilled than the players before, because I was there when Michael Jordan played. I was there when Larry Bird played. I was there when Julius Erving played. I don't think there's anybody more skilled than Julius Erving, particularly when it comes to attacking the basket. So I think the players have better training than we did. I never had a personal trainer when I was coming up. Everybody has a personal.
Now,
you have a personal trainer. So everybody has a personal trainer now. So guys really get out and work on their games, particularly on how to develop their finishes and their ball handling.
Probably has something to do with science too, right? How players just recover so quickly with the technology and everything. Okay, next on your list of factors why they score 50 points consistently, Coach Norman, is that high-scoring offensive games. Do you think the pace has something to do with this, especially now that there's a lot of young guys that can run down the floor so easily?
Well, when I arrived in the Philippines, it was during the time of the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls, and these teams were basically just Detroit Pistons. They were basically beating up each other. I mean, there were 90-point games, and it was basically because the defense was allowed to do a lot physically against you. The NBA does not allow that anymore. The game has really opened up to the point where even if you try to foul a guy on a fast break, you shoot 2 foul shots and take the ball out on the side, or shoot 1 shot and take it out on the side. So things have opened up to the point that it's more of an offensive game now. It favors the offensive players more than it does the defensive players. And the players, they're going to take advantage of it. That's what's going to happen.
And that's probably also one of the reasons why they can pull off all these skills, all these moves, because they're not allowed to
more,
touch.
Forearm,
Bawal naman gulang, di ba?
hand checking. No, some guys' hands were so strong that if they hand checked you, you wouldn't be able to move. But you're not allowed to do that anymore.
I'm sure, even with Michael Jordan scoring 50, 60 before, with that type of defense, I mean, you can't imagine that. I mean, it's crazy. How about the amount of 3-pointers that have been,
there you go.
I mean, teams have been taking now, Coach? Is that also a factor in all these high-scoring games and also players scoring 50, 60?
Yeah, analytics has become a big part of the game, and they say that you can shoot a lower percentage from 3 and still outscore guys from 2. So you see guys out there taking threes at ease now because they know that the coaches want them to do that. The analytics say take as many threes as you can if you're capable of making them. So that has a lot to do with it. It's a 3-point game now, particularly from the corners. Or if you're Steph, half court, you're Dame, half court. Some of these guys are shooting from the logos now.
Yeah, that's right.
And last but not the least, also in your list of reasons why players are scoring 50-plus points, you said here there's an increase in ball touches during the games. Does this pertain to players being more unselfish now? They move the ball around quicker than before?
I have a tendency of watching NBA games and just focusing in on one team and then counting how many times they run certain plays and who's getting the touches. And I watched the Denver Nuggets the other day, and the big guy, he gets the ball half the time.
Right.
The ball touches his hands half the time, and you wonder why he has a triple-double. He's super skilled. Let me not take anything away from him, but he's getting the ball a lot. Even
Luka.
Luka. I mean, Luka has the ball in his hands on every single play.
Right.
And he's making the right plays the majority of the time. That's the reason why he has the ball. But when the ball is in your hands and a lot, then of course you're going to be more productive.
I mean, that's right. When you talk about that Donovan Mitchell 71-point game, I think when his teammates found him hot,
Yeah.
they just gave him the ball.
That's correct. Even if you look at the last play when he scored on the side,
Right.
he actually went into the corner. They ran something at the top, a little pick and roll, then came back to him, a dribble handoff, he comes off and hits another three.
Yeah.
So even when he's away from the play, they're still looking for him to get the ball.
Right. So you said, Coach, that you watch some NBA games.
Actually, all
A lot of
All the
NBA
come on
games.
TV.
I think
Yeah,
Coach
that's
has,
for sure.
Coach has league pass.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Donovan scored 71. Luka scored 60 and I think a 50-point game.
Giannis
Who do
also
you-
had 50 plus a while ago.
Who do you think, Coach, is up next? Who are the players that are capable of doing these things? I mean, scoring a lot in bunches.
KD.
KD, that's for sure.
I don't think he's had a 60-point game this year, but he's capable of scoring 60 points. There's no question. Giannis, like you just said, and think about how many times they get the ball now.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie's capable. The only reason why I say Kyrie may not be the one to do that is because he also moves the basketball.
That's right.
But at the same time, he's capable of scoring 50, 60 points in a game.
But the argument here is that it's somewhat easier to score 50 plus points, but 30 plus points are still impressive. Do you think we should still be wowed by these performances in the NBA if we see someone scoring 30 plus?
I'm always wowed by consistency.
Right.
Guys who can do it I look at Luka and I'm like, are you serious, bro? This is every single night. He's got so many guys out injured right now, and he's getting it done basically on his own.
Yep.
With a little help from his teammates, of course. But Luka just amazes me the way he plays.